Undisputed WWE Champion John Cena cuts a reverse pipe bomb promo on CM Punk to conclude last night's SmackDown. He references AEW, TNA and other ex-WWE superstars during the promo. I'll let you know all the details. Speaking of the pipe bomb, Vince McMahon was edited out of a vignette featuring CM Punk's infamous pipe bomb back in 2011 last night on SmackDown. Randy Orton has advanced to the final of the WWE King of the Ring tournament. Asuka has advanced to the final of the Queen of the Ring tournament on SmackDown. Goldberg's match against Gunther at Saturday Night's main event is now being billed as Goldberg's last match. Paul Heyman and his faction members Bron Breakker and Big Bronson Reed appear on SmackDown last night. Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa is confirmed for Night of Champions for the US Championship. Several title matches are announced for next week's SmackDown from Riyadh. Hikuleo once again wrestles in a dark match prior to SmackDown. WWE confirms an injury to Elton Prince. Former WWE superstar Cedric Alexander appears on TNA Impact. Joe Hendry, he'll be challenging for the TNA World Championship at Slammiversary, but Mike Santana also wants in on that TNA World Championship match at the upcoming pay-per-view. NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne appears on TNA Impact. Ash by Elegance earns a future Knockouts World Championship opportunity. Several matches and segments are confirmed for an upcoming July 3rd episode of TNA Impact, and people within WWE are pushing for LA Knight to move to Monday Night Raw. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, you can see right there we're just 16 subscribers away from 22,600 on that road to 25k. Of course, the aim is to get to 25 in 2025, so if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. You can also join the WN365 roster. All you have to do is scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. You can click the link in the video description below or click the join button. You get your badges, your emojis, and your exclusive members only content. Let's begin with a promo that's got a lot of people talking coming out of SmackDown last night. Now, undisputed WWE Champion John Cena may have lost to Ron Killings after hitting him with the title, causing a disqualification to end their match on SmackDown, but it was Cena who got the last laugh over his Night of Champions opponent CM Punk to end the evening. As Punk came out to make the save, Cena laid him out, put him through a table, and then cut a promo mocking CM Punk's 2011 pipe bomb promo, which incidentally occurred after Cena had been put through a table immediately after a match with R-Truth. After a low blow, multiple shots with the title, and an AA through the table to Punk, Cena grabbed a microphone and spoke to a fallen Punk and the crowd. He let everyone know that before he leaves the company in 6 months with the title in tow, he has a lot of stuff to get off his chest. He told Punk he actually doesn't hate him and actually likes him more than anyone Punk has ever shared a locker room with. Cena told cameraman Stu to get in closer as he was breaking the fourth wall and continued to berate Punk. He said that Punk changes his values more than Cena changes his t-shirts and called him a loudmouth opportunist who likes to step on people, and called out Claudio Castagnoli, Nick Nemeth, of course Castagnoli in AEW, Nick Nemeth in TNA, and Matt Cardona, who is a free agent. Cena said Punk was no longer the voice of the voiceless, he's a millionaire, and he's no longer a punk, he's a capitalist and Mr. TKO. The champion said if Punk believes he's the best wrestler in the world after Night of Champions, then it's a really small world after all. He told Punk he needed to bring it at the premium live events, and it will be the best in the world against the greatest of all time for the most coveted prize in sports entertainment. Now, it wasn't the only reference to CM Punk's infamous pipe bomb we got on SmackDown last night. WWE aired a video package on SmackDown highlighting the years-long rivalry between undisputed WWE Champion John Cena and his Night of Champions opponent CM Punk. But one portion of Punk's infamous pipe bomb promo from June 2011 was cut out. The company edited out a small portion of the promo where Punk mentioned Vince McMahon, removing the disgraced former chairman's name from the video. In the original promo, Punk told Cena there was one thing he was better at than him, and that was kissing Vince McMahon's ass. In the video that aired on Friday, WWE's small rewrites of history had Punk telling Cena he was a better at kissing ass, with a noticeable cut removing McMahon's name. McMahon played a big part of the feud between Punk and Cena in 2011, which culminated in Punk winning the WWE Championship at Money in the Bank and walking out of the company in storyline with the title in tow after blowing a kiss to a stunned McMahon on his way out. Now, McMahon's name has not been used much at all on WWE programming since he stepped down from the company for the second time in January 2024 amidst a sex trafficking scandal and lawsuits involving former WWE employee Janelle Grant. McMahon's first announced his retirement, of course, from WWE in July of 2022, but worked his way back into the company prior to its sale to Endeavor. Now, keeping with SmackDown, Randy Orton, he is in the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Randy Orton advanced to the finals of the WWE King of the Ring tournament, defeating Sami Zayn on the June 20th episode of SmackDown. Orton finished off Zayn with an RKO as Zayn was charging in for a Helluva Kick. With this victory, Orton will face Jey Uso or Cody Rhodes in the finals at WWE Night of Champions. The winner will receive a World Championship opportunity at SummerSlam. Orton advanced to the semi-finals by defeating Aleister Black, Carmelo Hayes, and LA Knight. Zayn advanced by defeating Bron Breakker, Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. Of course, Orton was in the finals last year, losing to Gunther in Saudi. In the Queen of the Ring tournament, Asuka has punched her ticket to the finals. Asuka advanced to the finals of the WWE Queen of the Ring tournament, defeating Alexa Bliss on the June 20th episode of SmackDown. Asuka finished off Bliss with the hip attack after blocking the Twisted Bliss by getting her knees up. With this victory, Asuka will head to the finals at Night of Champions to face Roxanne Perez or Jade Cargill. The winner of the tournament will challenge for a Women's Championship at WWE SummerSlam. In her first round matchup, Bliss defeated Charlotte Flair, Candice LeRae, and Alba Fire in a four-way match. Asuka defeated Stephanie Vaquer, Ivy Now, and Raquel Rodriguez in her first round match this past Monday. Now, it's finally been confirmed by WWE. We kind of already knew it anyway, but WWE is now billing it as this. Gunther versus Goldberg at Saturday night's main event is now officially being promoted as Goldberg's final match. In an announcement regarding ticket sales yesterday, WWE wrote that the July 12th Saturday night's main event episode will be headlined by Goldberg's final match versus WWE World Heavyweight Champion Gunther. It was already expected that this would be Goldberg's retirement match, but with the title being on the line, was only advertised as Goldberg's last ride until now. WWE announced that individual tickets for Saturday night's main event and the company's Evolution PLE will go on sale to the general public at 10 a.m. Eastern next Wednesday, that being June 25th. The shows are taking place at State Farm Arena in Atlanta on back-to-back days. Of course, Atlanta is where Goldberg's wrestling career began at the WCW power plant. He went to the University of Georgia in Athens when he was in college, later playing in the NFL for the Atlanta Falcons. Goldberg last wrestled in 2022 when he faced Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. The 58-year-old's decision to return is because he isn't happy his ending his career with that match, and he's determined to go out on his terms. Going back to SmackDown, we saw an appearance from Paul Heyman and co. last night. LA Knight opened the show, though, looking for a fight with Seth Rollins. Instead, he got Paul Heyman, who stated that something bad was going to happen tonight by the end of the evening. Knight turned his attention to Heyman, saying he'd give him the first shot, and then he would mollywop him. Heyman left the ring as Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker made their way down the aisle. Knight was able to turn the numbers disadvantage around by grabbing a steel chair and keeping Rollins' men at bay. Later in the night, Knight faced Reed in singles competition. The bout was thrown out when Breakker interfered and hit Knight with a spear. After the match, Breakker hit another spear and Reed hit 3 tsunami splashes. We'll talk a little bit about LA Knight later on. He could be on the way to Monday Night Raw. A US Championship match is confirmed for Night of Champions. WWE announced that Jacob Fatu will defend the WWE United States Championship against Solo Sikoa at Night of Champions. Fatu issued the challenge, and the match was made official on the June 20th episode of WWE Friday Night SmackDown. So that match is confirmed for next week, of course, with Night of Champions. We'll be live with a watch-along and a post-show for the event. Speaking of title matches, we're going to see several on SmackDown next week. WWE announced that Tiffany Stratton will defend her WWE Women's Championship against Nia Jax in a last woman standing match next Friday on WWE SmackDown. Plus, Julia will challenge Zelina Vega for the WWE Women's United States Championship. Finally, the Street Profits will put the WWE Tag Team titles on the line against the Wyatt Six members, Joe Gacy and Dexter Lumis. That all set for next week. Just like last week, we saw Hikuleu wrestle a dark match prior to SmackDown. The June 20th Friday Night SmackDown emanated from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and prior to the show, there were several dark matches and a match taped for WWE Speed. One of the dark matches saw Hikuleu in action, and he picked up a victory over his opponent, whose identity is not known at the time of recording this video. Hikuleu picked up the win, and it was the second week in a row that he's competed before SmackDown. He picked up a victory over Pretty Deadly's Kip Wilson last week. Speaking of Pretty Deadly, an update here when it comes to Autumn Prince. One half of Pretty Deadly is sidelined. As the June 20th edition of SmackDown was underway, Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly made his way to the ring for a singles match against Aleister Black. Before Black entered the picture, commentators Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett revealed that Wilson's partner, Autumn Prince, is sidelined with an injury and they wished him well. Kit Wilson, as I mentioned, was in a singles match prior to SmackDown last week and he fell in defeat to former New Japan Pro Wrestling talent Hiku Leu. Now let's switch over to TNA, specifically Impact. You might say, Owen, it's not Thursday, so how was there an episode of Impact on Friday? We'll let you know in just a second, because TNA Wrestling seemingly has Cedric Alexander crossing the line. TNA Wrestling is giving fans a live look at an upcoming episode of TNA Impact, airing the event on TNA+. During the show, Cedric Alexander made a surprise appearance, confronting Mustafa Ali. Alexander saved Order 4 as Ali threatened to hit them with a chair following his victory over Skylar. Order 4 stood beside Alexander against Ali. Of course, there had been speculation that Alexander was going to be making appearances in TNA, and now that has happened. Now, the TNA World Championship will be on the line at Slammiversary, and Joe Hendry will be challenging for the championship. Joe Hendry opened the June 26th episode of TNA Impact by reflecting on the pain he experienced after losing the TNA World Championship to Trick Williams at WWE NXT Battleground. He thanked the audience for their unwavering support and asked them to stand by him for his redemption. This prompted Santina Marella to come out and announce that because he never utilised his title shot, Joe Hendry would challenge for the TNA World Championship at TNA's Slammiversary event. Now, it was not specified whether this would be a one-on-one match, nor was it explicitly stated who the champion would be. However, as it stands, Hendry will be competing against Trick Williams for the TNA World Championship on July 20th. As I mentioned, the June 26th episode of TNA Impact aired early as a sneak peek on TNA+. But there could be another name that's added to that TNA World Championship match at Slammiversary, that being Mike Santana. Mike Santana has made no bones about wanting to be the TNA Wrestling World Champion. He had a shot at the gold against Trick Williams on the June 3rd episode of WWE NXT, but AJ Francis cost him that match. Well, after defeating Francis in a street fight on TNA Impact, he declared that he wanted to be added to the match featuring Joe Hendry and Trick Williams for the championship at TNA Slammiversary. So possibly it could be a triple threat contest. We saw more NXT influence on the show because Jacy Jayne appeared on the June 26th episode of TNA Impact. Shortly after the Battle Royal to crown the next top contender for the TNA Knockouts World Championship, we'll get to that in a second, Masha Slamovich came out to confront her potential next challenger. However, she was not the only one who showed up. Current WWE NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne also appeared on the ramp and taunted both the champion and a future challenger in the ring. Masha Slamovich is slated to defend her championship against Killer Kelly next. She challenged her former tag team partner to face her in a chain match. Now, speaking of that battle royal, it was won by Ash by Elegance. Yes, Ash by Elegance successfully earned a future opportunity at the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Ash by Elegance is currently one or half of the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Champions, alongside Heather by Elegance. However, she survived a battle royal on the June 26th episode of TNA Impact to earn a future title opportunity. The battle royal also featured Lee Ying Lee, Jada Stone, Katie Arquette, Victoria Crawford, Cassie Lee, Jess McKay, Zaya Brookside, Rosemary, Myla Moore, Myla Grace, Tasha Steeles, M by Elegance, Heather by Elegance, Jody Threat, Danny Luna, Alicia Edwards, Harley Hudson, Indy Hartwell, and Tessa Blanchard. It had appeared that Ash was eliminated early in the match, along with the rest of her stable, but she appeared from under the ring at the end, throwing out both Hartwell and Blanchard and earning the victory for her. As mentioned after the match, she was confronted by the Knockouts World Champion Masha Slamovich and a surprise appearance from WWE NXT Women's Champion Jacy Jayne. Now, several matches have been confirmed for the July 3rd episode of TNA Impact. The June 26th episode of TNA Impact, as I mentioned, aired live on June 20 as part of a sneak peek on TNA+. During the episode, several matches were announced for the July 3rd episode. It was confirmed that Killer Kelly would challenge Masha Slamovich for the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Slamovich challenged her former tag team partner to a Russian chain match, but as of this recording, the stipulation has not been confirmed. Also, Eddie Edwards challenged Matt Cardona to a match. Cardona was eager to accept. Brian Myers, who is close with both men, seems torn by Cardona's feuding with the system. Lastly, Jake Something confirmed he would face Mance Warner on July 3rd. He threatened to send Warner to the hospital and then challenged Steve Macklin for a future opportunity at the TNA International Championship. And finally, we spoke about LA Knight earlier on. He's feuding with Paul Heyman, Bron Breakker, Big Bronson Reed, and Seth Rollins. Of course, they're Raw superstars. So could he be on his way to Monday Night Raw? According to WrestleVotes on WrestleVotes Radio, a substantial number of people in WWE are pushing for LA Knight to move to Monday Night Raw in the near future. Quote, according to those within the company, we are told more than a handful of people are advocating for LA Knight to be moved to Raw brand in the near future, as his presence on Netflix could be viewed as something of a refreshing change, WrestleVotes said. Now, LA Knight has been featured on SmackDown ever since he moved to the main roster in May of 2022 as Max Dupree, with the former Eli Drake remaining on SmackDown after he switched back to being LA Knight. The two-time WWE United States Champion has only had 2 televised matches on Raw, losing to Cody Rhodes on March 13, 2023, and defeating Ivar in an Elimination Chamber qualifying match on February 12, 2024. Now, possibly 2 other names could be on their way to Raw in the names of Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, possibly to join Paul Heyman's faction, but of course we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're just 16 subscribers away from 22,600, getting closer and closer, of course, to 23,000 on that road to 25,000. 25k in 2025 is what we're aiming to do here at Wrestle News 365. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. And speaking of the sidebar, you can see it advertised right there. Night of Champions is next Saturday, that being Saturday, June 28th. We'll be live for a watch along. We'll be live for a post show, so be sure to join us when we stream here live on the channel. I appreciate everyone for tuning in as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming. Whenever you come across this video today, be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.